Well, hello there. My name is Sarah Severin. I'm an expert with sexy hair, and today we're going to learn our beautiful haircut called the Starlet. It's from the Bombshell collection, and it's going to consist of beautiful low layers, rounded layers, fullness through the bottom perimeter. Also, we're going to connect the fringe slightly to the front profiles. We're going to preserve these front profiles and the density throughout here. Now our fringe is going to lay about lip length and be nice and long and full. So what I've done is I've already pre-sectioned her to make life a little bit easier and to save on time, because time is money and efficient, and I'm losing my little Miley buns as we speak. So what I've done is I've taken her from the recession to the recession, and I've created a horseshoe shape parting all along the parietal, as you can see. Next, our midsection will be tapered down to, oh, she's done. There, she's going to be tapered down to the occipital bone and then brought up to 50% between the parietal and the top of the ear, so you can see nicely. So dipping down from that 50% all the way down to the occipital bone. It's just two sections. Pretty simple, right? Okay, now I'm going to fix her little Miley bun, because that didn't want to last. I think it's cute. I'm going to call it a Miley bun. That's okay with you. People can relate to that. Perfect. Now, I previously have done a couple videos, so I've cut the perimeter, and my phone keeps acting up. So I've only gotten through the first section and parted off to the second section. So cross your fingers for this one. So starting off, we're going to part our client from, we're going to separate front from back, which is behind the ear. I'm going to do that on both sides. And then we're going to work in the back profile. Now think of this haircut, think of any haircut as a puzzle, a masterpiece. So you're going to relatively work through that puzzle and work in one space and then move to the next space. That's what these profiles are. They're pieces to our beautiful puzzle. Now, tilting her head forward and utilizing the fact that her head moves, and we want a straight, nice, clean palette cutting board across her neck. Now you can see I've already created that beautiful perimeter here. It's going to be mid-length through the neck. And what we're going to do is we're going to comb this section straight down at 0 degree elevation. Now, on a real person, we're actually going to use her neck as the palette, but not all of this is going to fit and look nice on a mannequin, so I'm going to have to adjust my finger angle for the mannequin. But I can get that straight line through the center of the base. So bringing her hair straight down. And what this is doing by laterally directing it towards the center just slightly is it's preserving that corner on that hair, on that design that we're creating, that line, that horizontal perimeter. And that one's already beautiful. Check for symmetry, and we've got it. Moving on, I want to bring her head straight up so I can see my lines. Now we're going to connect the back to the front, and only using a little bit from the previously cut back section to see where our line is headed. And we want to release some of that tension off of that strength that we've created, and we're going to just place our comb right above that ear and release some of that tension so we're not cutting a hole in that design. And a little bit of cleanup, but I have a straight line there. I'm going to repeat the same movement on the opposite side. Combing her straight down, no elevation, but bend and release that off of the ear. A little bit of cleanup. Now we can check for symmetry once again. And we've got it. Pretty simple so far, yeah? As Ian would say, cool? I like that. So we're going to bend her head forward once again, forward, releasing my Miley buns. And we're going to separate the front from the back, once again, behind that ear. We're just working through the back profile at this moment. Now, we're going to be utilizing our upward movement, our cutting up. So we're going to place our right leg forward. And I really liked on this side, so I'm changing it up. It just works better. Now that we've separated front from back, I want you to make 7 vertical subsections. Starting in the center, we're going to create our first. And they all have to be even. Yes, they do. Now what this does is it gives us the ability to see our lines, to see our work more clearly, which is better cutting, more precision cutting, clean cuts. Our clients kind of like our attention to detail. When I do these haircuts, of course they're customized, but when I do them on my clients, they feel like they're getting that special, you know, that special cut. I like it. Okay, now that I parted her off into 7, we're going to start at a low elevation. So that previously cut perimeter that I just cut, we're going to use that. So combing each section straight off from where it lives, straight off the head shape from where it lives. You'll be moving in a radial way. So making sure my lines are clean, there's even tension here. We're going to start at that 45 and we're going to move up, in size up. And when you see if that hair starts to buckle, you want to recomb. You want to make sure that all your work's clean. And we're going to end right at that parietal, right parallel to that parietal line. Using once again the underneath subsection here. My light down here is going to burn me. Okay. No hazards, please. None. Now, when I'm in my stance, I can move behind that section being cut. I want to be directly behind it, but also be able to see the side of that section being cut. That's the joy of this cutting system. You can see your work, and when you're in a correct body position, you can move around your work, and it's less stress. Who doesn't want less stress? Okay. Moving up and ending at a 90 off that head shape, and reflecting, my shears reflecting the angle that I'm going, so my shears are going up. Starting at low elevation, that 45 once again, and repeating that same movement. Now I saw a buckle, I paused. Always be aware of where you're going. What's your next step? We want to see, we have a premonition, I call it hair premonition. And yes, her head does move. Now when you stay in form, you don't stray from those beautiful lines. And you can see, oh my god, it's gorgeous. You can see how rounded and beautiful that's cupping and that's laying. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So once again, and we want to keep that beautiful motion going because we want to preserve that length. We don't want to create uniform layers. We just want to raise the elevation and create rounded layers. And if you can hear my shears, I think that's kind of funny, but they're mannequin shears, so that's light. Ending at that 90 degree. And I love this line because I can see exactly where I'm going. Oh man, when I was researching the video, he only did it in 10 minutes. It was quite amazing. So we're moving up, and with that head shape, and moving with the head shape ensures that we are creating those round layers. Isn't that wonderful how we can move through that angle with such ease and creating that texture and design all in one? We've almost got it. Now we're going to do the same movement through the side profiles. Do you see how beautiful that is? Oh, I love it. It's one of my favorite haircuts, actually. Okay, so vertically sectioning the two into the side profile, we're going to make two vertical sections here. Moving up once again and creating the same movement. So we've already created that, set that pathway for ourselves. We have that perimeter cut, so that's going to be our starting guide. Starting at the same elevation as before in the back profile, moving up, staying parallel, keeping it rounded, keeping it rounded. And this front profile, this front section towards the hairline, we're actually going to laterally direct it towards the ear to preserve that length in front. Beautiful. Okay, repeating it on the opposite side, same movements. I'm really glad that I didn't get into this part of the haircut when my phone was acting up. I swear technology hates me, but that's okay. I can hire people for that, right? Okay, once again, we're going to laterally direct this section at the front profile, or at the front hairline, excuse me, to the ear. Starting out at a 45, we want to end up at our 90, and if you need to recomb, beautiful, do that. All right. Moving on. Now we're going to drop our top profile down. And we're going to create 5 radial subsections in the back profile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let her hair naturally fall to the part. First off, right to that left eye. Left eye. Oh. Okay. And in the back profile here, once again, we're working through our back profile. And we're going to take it from the crown to the top of the ear. What it's going to look like is this. Now we're separating the front from the back. always working in that certain quadrant there. Repeating the same on the opposite. Now we want to create our radial subsection starting in the middle. There's 5 of them. Why do you ask? Why are we creating these radial subsections? Man, she caught me on the spot. Nicole, I had no idea what a radial subsection was used for. I just thought it was pretty. Well, that too. But I come to find this is a great way to create expanded width throughout that design. That's what radial subsections are used for. We want to expand that design, create fullness throughout the bottom perimeter. Got our 5. We're going to be moving up that head shape once again, but she needs to be lowered, I'm short. Okay. See just great. Oh, I'm doing good with this. Okay, starting out at that 90, which we left off from. We always want to start out where we left off. And where we're going to end up, I will tell you. We are going to end up at a 135. Now we're going to be keeping it rounded. That's what we're doing. Moving with that head shape. Beautiful. When all is said and done, keeping it straight off of that head shape from where it lives is key. Do not lose that. We want to keep that going so that we have evenness throughout this haircut. We want even expansion here. Straight off and up. And I want to check that one once more. And that's beautiful. We can move on. Creating or gathering from the previously cut underneath section will be our part of our guide, but just remembering we did get off that bus at 90 degrees. So that's double checking right there. Remember our right leg is forward. You know, keeping correct body positioning is really key in hair cutting because you don't want to overstress your body. We're doing this all day and it's robotic, so we care. We want you to be able to stay behind that chair for as long as possible and do what you love. So what we're going to do next is we're going to pre-section. We've moved to the back. Now we're in the front profile. And I want to separate our fringe by taking it an inch from the hairline back from corner to corner on both sides of that natural part. So keeping that separate from corner to corner. She doesn't have very nice corners. She's very round and beautiful, but she doesn't have nice corners. And we're going to section that off out of the way. What we're going to do is work on the lighter side of that part and create 2 more vertical subsections. And same as before, I'm just going to keep with that movement, keep it rounded. We're going to move through that angle, moving up, starting at that 90, straight off the head shape, and move it up to that 135. I saw it buckle. I saw it. I'm going to recomb Beautiful. Okay, just checking, just checking. And then once again, don't forget to preserve that front hairline. So we're moving that section at the front hairline back to the ear. Laterally direct it to the ear. Up and around that head shape, ending in a 135. You can see that beautiful roundness. Oh, shades of beauty. Okay, creating on the opposite side, we're going to create two subsections as we did before on the opposite. Starting at the section above the ear, making sure everything's combed nice and savvy. Starting at our 90 degree and moving up. And I want to redo this. There's more hair on this side, so I definitely want to recomb and check. And she's all right. She's good. Laterally directing it to the ear and moving up. And check her. I can deal with that. It's good. Moving into the fringe. This is a beautiful fringe. So we've got our two sides, correct? What we're going to do with the fringe is we're going to, oh, I'm over time, I'm sorry, but it's going very well. So we're going to elevate her to a 45. Straight off the head, we're going to laterally direct it towards the part. And we're going to keep our finger angle at a 45. We want to reflect that 45-degree design. And then we're going to cut short to long. Beautiful. And then connect. And we like this edge right here. We like this corner. We like that. That's added design there. We want that. And then now we're going to take a small piece from the previously cut fringe on the other side, and we're going to comb straight out at a 45, and we're going to backhand, incising back and just slightly tapering to create that rounded, that bevel, as you can see. Now we are going to add, which is wonderful, I love this technique, is we're going to add some texture and added softness. So what we're going to do is we're going to take her whole head and create radial partings, starting from the crown. And they're going to be even, but they're going to be random. So it doesn't matter how many you make. This is going to be up to you, depending on the density of that person's hair, is where I would say you want to add more or take away the partings. Starting on the lighter side is what I'm told. And what we're going to do is we're going to direct her straight up at a 135. And we're going to fan that hair. We're going to buckle that knuckle. I know you guys are going to love that one. Buckle that knuckle. So bending your fingers, bending your knuckles, and we're going to add point cutting throughout that fan. And don't get too wild with it. We just want to add some added softness. We want to add some softness. So holding it straight up from where it lives at a 135 and add some texture. I really, really love this technique. It works great for any type of hair, especially with our shear. I use it with fitting shears, with our blending shears most of the time, but I really like the added effect that it gives me with just the shear, because on curly hair we don't want to add any more texture. We just want to add softness, right? So get creative with it. That's what it's about. So creating that fan, buckle that knuckle, Beautiful. All the way around. And this will conclude our Starlet haircut. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching, and I hope you take this back to the salon and you utilize this haircut. Knowing me, and probably most of you, you know, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And I really hope that you guys have taken this and wanted to take it back to the salon and teach everyone in the salon. So I really value your time, and thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.